Hi everyone, I'm going to apologize for my look right now because I just got back from a run. We are talking about food prep. We went over Shakeology, how easy that is, right? So that's usually one of my meals in the day. We went over overnight oats. That's usually my breakfast for the day. You can add other stuff to that. This is what I would do for, let's say, a lunch or maybe even a dinner. Lunch tends to be my biggest meal of the day because then I still have time to burn some of that off, either at work or working outside or working out. And then I start to taper it back off towards the evening. Sometimes, like right now, Shaco is my last meal of the day. And I'll probably have a few bites of this while I'm tasting it. So what I'm making for you guys today is Erin's favorite spicy chicken quinoa bowl. You can make this look really pretty. You can glop it all together and make it look not so pretty, but it tastes delicious. So the first thing I'm going to do is I have 4 chicken breasts here. I've seasoned one side of it. We're just going to add salt. I know I do this out of a big container, but I use a lot of salt because, again, I cook everything as fresh as I can. So onion powder, and you want to coat these pretty well. I mean, when we're eating really lean meats and you're not getting a lot of flavor from fats, we're going to add a lot of flavor from spices. So use your spicing pretty generously. I have garlic powder now. And I have chipotle pepper. This is a little spicier. It's a smoky jalapeno. It's chipotle, but there's like ancho. I have an ancho powder, which is a smoked, I think, Anaheim. And so it's a lot milder, but it still gives you a little smokiness, a little heat, but not much. This is a little bit spicier. So we get that all seasoned, and I am going to light up my pan over here. Again, you don't need much oil. I'm cooking 4 of these, and I probably do, I don't know, a teaspoon, maybe a little bit more than that, just to coat my hands so nothing sticks. These are going to release juices, and I usually cook mine on the stove. It gets them way juicier, in my opinion. The other thing I'm going to do is start the quinoa. So we have, I have some tri-colored quinoa here. You can get regular colored quinoa. I have half a cup. I put that in my saucepan. I'm going to see if we can do this. Okay. So right first what I do is I just get it wet. I kind of swish it around a little bit. Usually these days you don't have to do this as much. It's just I learned probably with a little grittier stuff. So you just kind of do this just to clean it a little bit. It gets a little bit of the starches out of their dirt also. And you kind of drain it off. You're going to lose a little bit. That's fine. And then you do 2 parts. Now I got chicken broth. 2 parts chicken broth. So I'm going to add 1 whole cup of chicken broth. And again, this is not like perfect measuring. And kind of just get that down. And put it on the stove, bring it to a boil. Then once it starts boiling, you're going to reduce it to a simmer and put the lid on. And you do that until it's absorbed most of the liquid. And you can do this with water too, again, if you're watching stuff or vegetable broth or anything you want. I just think it's a little bit more flavorful with the chicken broth. So we're going to get that started. This is ready to go. We get the chicken in there, and again, season both sides. I've already done one side for you. Now I have my heat started out on high to get it hot, but once this gets in the pan, I usually let it go for about a minute or so, and then turn it down to about a medium heat. And then once I get some brownness on the bottom side, when I flip it, I turn it down to low and put the lid on. It'll slowly get some coloring on the other side, but it also cooks the inside and makes it all juicy and delicious. So next we're going to go for the vegetables, and I have over here everything kind of pre-chopped. So I have a giant, this sweet potato is huge, so I might not use all of it. I have a giant sweet potato that I've chopped into like little pieces. And I have an onion, I have some green peppers and red peppers and jalapenos. This is all from our garden. Some garlic, so just whatever I had on hand for veggies. Think of this as kind of like a spicy Mexican rice bowl kind of thing, but we're going to do it with quinoa. We're going to have black beans. We're going to have the sweet potatoes, all the vegetables, and then we're going to do a Greek yogurt, cumin, adobo sauce with some cilantro. If you want to, you can do the chipotle, which I like, and then I usually top it with avocado after I warmed it up and eat it. Really, really good, really delicious. So that chicken, we're going to turn it down to medium and let it go a little bit longer there. This is going to start heating up here. Again, on high to start it out with. I am going to put probably 2 teaspoons in here because we have a lot of veggies to cook. And this is an awesome recipe too. Sometimes I'll just cream this all together and Erin just heats it up and can eat a ton of it. I sometimes actually use this as all the fixings for a salad. So I'll put a lettuce underneath it, I'll heat it up and put it on and mix it in. It's really good. I'm just kind of stirring the quinoa, just making sure nothing's getting stuck to the bottom. It's starting to get, let's see, it's going to boil here in a second. The chicken's looking good. This is getting hot. Right. So next we are going to add in a bunch of sweet potatoes. Now I throw things everywhere. My sweet potatoes in a hot pan and kind of get them to, I like them to have some brown on them. I like them to, that's where so much flavor is at. So once I get it in that oil, I want to kind of mix it up. Get that oil kind of distributed on all of them. Okay. I might be able to get this all in here. If you crowd it too much, it starts steaming it more than it does actually browning it. But we want this because sweet potato is so hard, you don't mind if it steams a little bit. It'll actually cut the cooking time down a little bit. So I've got a boil on my quinoa back there. So I'm going to turn it to low. I'm going to give it a little stir before that. So again, making sure nothing's just stuck to the bottom. And we don't even have to like season that because the broth has some sodium in it. Here we got some nice coloring. We're going to flip these guys over. And then I'm going to put a lid on it and turn it down to low. So, that probably shouldn't have happened. I will, holy crap, that's hot. I will check this in a little bit, probably like a minute or so, 2 minutes. If there's no liquid in there, because again, there's barely any fat on chicken breast, then I will add like a tablespoon of water, just so we're not drying everything out, and it can kind of steam the inside. So you can see those. We're going to season this up a little bit, so I'm just going to throw a little salt, a little pepper, and if we want to, we're going to have garlic and onion over here. So, again, kind of mix that up. And we're just going to let that go on high for a while. Next, I'm going to get a pan out. I know, I use so many pans here. You can literally cook the chicken and then cook the veggies and then cook everything separately or in the same pan. But for for time's sake right now, doing it all at once. So, remove. Here. And again, maybe half a teaspoon of oil there. So while this is kind of getting heated up, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about what I do for my prep. So again, I would cook on a normal food prep day. I kind of have everything laid out. Again, I'm using recipes that kind of incorporate what I have on hand since we still have so much from the garden. Lots of jalapenos, lots of onions, lots of bell peppers. So I wanted to do something with that. I do my overnight oats. That's usually my first meal of the day. Then I do something lighter. A lot of times, something I don't have to cook, which is one of my favorite go-tos is an apple. And I slice that up and I dip it in 2% yogurt. Lots of people eat 0% fat yogurt, and that's fine if that's what you do and you enjoy it. But for me, Greek yogurt takes a little time to get used to. And if you go up in fat content, if you go 2% of full fat, it's a lot sweeter or kind of soury too. But there's so much more like flavor to it. I find it so much more enjoyable. I can use it for sour cream. I use it in this where I used to use sour cream or half and half. I use it in my cauliflower puree, but when I was using the 0% fat, it was not as good. This also fills you up more. The thing is when we take out all the nutrients, which fat is a nutrient, when we take these out of all of these products that are supposed to be full of fat, it's like, what if you took all the fat out of an avocado? Would it taste good? No, it lose all its creaminess. It lose all the stuff that was great for your hair and your skin. Things are supposed to have fat in them. You're supposed to eat fat. Okay, there we go. We got some little brown bits on there. Keep that going. I'm going to add a little water, I think, in there. So my point is, if you use a little fat sometimes in some of these things, you actually feel fuller faster, and you don't have to eat as much. A lot of times people eat a fat-free yogurt, and that has like fruit on the bottom, which is basically like pie filling, and you eat it, and you're starving in 30 minutes, or that's a little 100-calorie portion of maybe a 500-calorie meal. Because you need all that to feel nourished. Where my second meal of the day, if I have a cup of this and one apple, which comes out to about 250 calories for my second meal, I'm satisfied until lunch. Usually it lasts about 3 hours. And then I have my lunch, and again, lunch is my bigger thing. So that's meal 2. Then I have something with a little more carbs in it. I have carbs in the morning because I'm going to get doing stuff, or maybe even working out. And then I have lunch that has full of protein. It does have my carbs usually in it, and then I start not having any carbs or fruit towards the end of the day. So lunch is usually my bigger meal. So this would be protein from here. Sweet potatoes are your carbs. Quinoa is also a carb, and so are black beans. Technically, they're a carb, but they have so much protein and fiber in them that they're actually a pretty perfect source of energy, and it's like a perfect mixture. So quinoa also, just so you guys know, is awesome because it has all of your essential amino acids, which is the ones that you cannot make yourself. You don't hold in your body. You have to consume them. And it has all of them. So it's a perfect thing to be eating. So I can see these are getting soft, but they're getting a little, let me grab up stuff here. All right, so now it's time for our veggies. So I've got bell peppers and jalapenos and onion and this is doing good. We're going to turn that down from high because it is softening up. In the city, I make a mess. Everything's all over the ground. So again, then my next meal is usually a snack, which a lot of times that will be my Shakeology. It'll be post-workout or pre-workout, depending on if I'm working or what our schedule is here at home. And then I have my last meal of the day, which could usually have higher protein, almost no carbs in it, unless it's a cheat day. And that can range from, protein balls with, that's what we usually do dinner. So it'll be more like chicken, salad, usually have a side of greens. And I usually do that at home. So it's not really part of my food prep. I usually cook almost every night for dinner. But this would be something that me and Aaron would take to work. And then I have these awesome little Pyrex containers that I portion everything out in. And if you guys do go with the 21-day fixed cups, it's awesome because Aaron can just eat however much Aaron needs to eat. But I try and keep track of his calories and macronutrients. So then, I can throw the veggies in here. I can throw the carbs in here and mix that all in. Protein. So I kind of mix all the carbs and greens a little bit together. Then we'll put that sauce on there, and then we'll top it with the chicken. But this is a great way to kind of portion it out, and I will portion that out for myself a little more strict than I do for him. And we'll go over that. We've probably already gone over that because I'm making this video in advance. So hopefully we've already gone over the calorie counts that you should be aiming for, and what portions of those calories should be coming from fats, carbs, and protein. Okay, my chicken is smelling awesome. Quinoa's doing good. So last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add this garlic, and we're going to let everything saute. Hopefully I can cut out a few minutes of this so you don't have to watch everything cooking. So you're gonna barely see me, so you can see this bowl of stuff. Here we go. So I'm gonna start making the sauce. What I usually do is, of course, have about a half a cup of Greek yogurt. Again, we are not perfectly measuring anything out. This is why I suck at baking, because I just eyeball everything. You can't do that when you bake. You can do that when you cook, not when you bake. So I'm gonna add just a tiny bit more. So you go almost up to 3/4 of a cup, or a cup, depending on how creamy you want all this. Next, I'm going to take some lime, squeeze some lime juice in there. Oh yeah, I like lime. Cilantro, I've got like a handful of chopped cilantro. Again, I really like cilantro. Cut it out if you don't like it. I do, let's see, about, I'm gonna say like a half teaspoon of cumin. And you can do some fresh onion in here if you want a little bit of fresh stuff. You can do a little bit of onion powder. You can do fresh garlic in here too. Like if you just want a few fresher elements, I do that with my. So you start kind of mixing that in. Salt, you want a little bit of salt. And for me, what I love the most is, this is hot, but the adobo sauce is so good. So this is chipotle peppers and adobo sauce. It is spicy. If you don't want this, I would say add some more cumin, add some chopped onion, add some chopped garlic, and maybe even a little more jalapeno, and then flavor it up with cilantro, lime, everything we have in this. Add some of those fresh ingredients. But this is what I love. So the sauce, there is chipotle peppers in here. So there's one. I take those out and I chop like 1 or 2 up. They are spicy. So remember that. And the sauce is really spicy too, but oh my goodness, it's so good. So pour a bunch of that in there, and then I chop up. This is gonna be so hot. Woo! So give that a good mix, and then you just kind of adjust. That's pretty good. You're gonna taste a little of that tartness from the Greek yogurt. You want some of the freshness from the lime, freshness from the cilantro, and we'll add a little more cilantro to finish it all off. I don't make it a total mess. And get the adobo in there. Okay, so then we're gonna go, I have a can of rinsed black beans. Throw the black beans in. So we're gonna get kind of all of our carbs except for the yogurt is obviously protein. Okay, so this is your quinoa. When it's all done, it's absorbed all of the moisture. There could be a tiny bit in there. It's probably gone for about 15 minutes. Very similar to rice, but it should be fluffy. And that's some deliciousness. So we're just gonna throw all of that in there. This is where, after you get everything together, if you want to make a little more sauce to throw in, you can. I might have to get a bigger spoon. All right. Just kind of fold that in a little bit. And we'll get our sweet potatoes. This makes a ton of food, but I mean, it looks like a ton of food. It is a ton of food, but this is Aaron's like, it's like 10 meals for me and like 4 at the most for Aaron. And because everything's hot, it's kind of nice right now because that Greek yogurt kind of melts out and you can get everything coated really, really well. And it's just super creamy and fresh and delicious. Oh, it smells so good. He's gonna have half of this eaten by the time we get home. He gets home tonight. So, again, take a little taste. I'm gonna add a tiny bit of salt and maybe a smidge of cumin. And then we have all those veggies to add in, so that's our next step. And there's all my sauteed peppers and garlic. So this is kind of your green portion. So there's definitely going to be about, well, when I portion out, it will be a full serving of carbs,